Hello and welcome back to Thoughtbot's AI in Focus. I've got my Thoughtbot shirt on today. Jimmy unfortunately came underdressed.
I have red on. I'm on theme.
Jimmy, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Um, the I realize our names aren't there. We go.
Nice.
Um, so we're gonna be working as usual on Ready Set Go more today. We've made a lot of progress on Ready Set Go. I figure we can start doing a little bit of catch up, like you were saying. We have evals now. I think that could be a little good to show those because we'll then touch on them in the stream. But the main focus of today's work is we are going to normally ReadySetGo talks to Anthropic APIs and LLM, and we are going to try anyway hooking it up to local models instead and see what's involved in that, but also how it performs, both in terms of quality and performance. And that's where our evals will come in because we'll be able to run our evals and see whether the things that we are checking for in terms of response quality and following our rules are still apply.
Yes.
So, for those who don't remember, Ready Set Go is a tool, an online tool that helps founders or people starting something new do a design sprint or a shaping sprint of their new idea and taking it through the Thoughtbot process of understanding who the customers are, what the feature set is going to be, coming up with assumptions that need to be validated. And eventually Ready Set Go will actually help you build that application. But right now we're focused just on the sprint. I have a few sprints here in progress. One for a new kind of pizza oven.
Nice.
And you can see that I've had this chat for a while now,
Do you want to share
testing
your
out.
screen, Chad? I don't see it
Oh,
up.
yeah, thank you.
There we
But this
go.
is the UI to Ready Set Go now, and we've got our back burner and our assumptions board. The sprint doesn't have any assumptions yet. This was a testing sprint I had a little while ago. Here's one for a new mobile ping pong game. This one's sort of funny because I was really trying to get it to tell me that the idea is terrible. Uh,
Yeah.
because I was like, oh no, the mobile ping pong game is you use your mobile phone with another player and you are waving your phone in the
Like physically
air
move. Yeah.
and it never like and I was trying to get it to tell me what is the ball. Uh so um it's a pretty funny back and forth as I tried to get it to uncover the thing. But if we go into assumptions, for example, uh, here's an untested assumption of the gyroscope accelerometer data is precise enough to reliably detect swing angle, speed, and spin in a way that feels satisfying to play.
Nice. Yeah, I would want an assumption that's like, is no ball okay? Where's that?
um, so that's the idea is you go through and most people probably watching have seen us work on Ready Set Go before, but we've got the steps over here, the sprint chat as you're going through in the middle, and then the what we'll call the artifacts over here uh, of the back burner and the synthesis documents of everything discussed. So that brings us to evals. So you want to talk a little bit about that, Jimmy?
Sure. So, yeah, we've been thinking about adding evals for a while, and some other folks on the team too have been putting a lot of work into this. So we're using a gem called Ruby LLM Tribunal, which is, I think, a wrapper of a larger eval library. And we're using Ruby LLM on ReadySetGo, so this was kind of an easy, obvious thing to try out. And Chad, if you want to look at the code, I think the main place that the evals live at right now, there's only one really. It's in the kickoff spec RB file in the evals folder. And you'll see there we have one eval or one expectation for judge passes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like using an LLM as a judge. We have one right now that is doing that sort of test where it's like an LLM is judging an LLM's output. And I think we have another one on here that's like you'll see avoid slop openers, which just like this reads like AI and is maybe hard to process. Same with the jargon. So
Yeah, so let's step through it. So
yeah,
what
it's
this
like
is
very
doing
familiar to
is,
normal
how many
specs,
times
but
does the sample run? Do you know?
5 times.
Five
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
So it'll
Which
run this uh, prompt basically 5 times and collect the different outputs.
exactly. And 5 is like on the low end, so we'll probably want to increase that eventually to get a larger sample set. Because right now, I think just one can fail, and then it's like a failure versus a pass.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 80% pass rate right now that we want to make sure we're at.
Right. And then what it does is it goes through those outputs, and the syntax here is consistently and then it gives it a thing where this is just a string that we use to identify
Mm-hmm.
the thing, right? And then let's look at the consultant jargon one there, so that it doesn't match anything in consultant jargon. And consultant jargon is a regular expression where we're just
Yep.
looking to avoid these words.
Yes.
Slop openers is a little bit more like where we're just trying to avoid any of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And you said there's another eval somewhere? They're in evals. Oh no, there's just this one.
I think there's just that one right now. We were just starting off small to get everything kind of working, and then we were going to expand it with some more stuff. But you could look at the specific idea RB file, which is kind of how we set up the LLM as a judge. It's like the prompt.
Which evals.rb?
That would be spec support judges specific idea.
Okay. Cool.
It's kind of interesting to look at that.
So evaluate whether the facilitator moved a vague idea toward a specific one. The founder opened a generic category, so the idea itself is vague at this point. Judge what the facilitator did about that, not how specific the founder's opening line was. Moving towards specific looks like this: naming a dominant competitor that already owns a category, putting the differentiation question on the table. So here we're providing instructions for how to judge something, and then the output, and then that. So where is this used?
That is the last assertion that we were looking at from the other file.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So names a specific idea, judge passes, and then we're passing in this here, which maps to the
Yes.
this. Yeah, judge name, specific idea.
Yeah. Something I've read about evals is like it takes a lot of effort to figure out exactly, how to write these judge prompts. So that's it's kind of like TDD, but it's EDD is what they're calling it, eval driven development.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to really work with, your product team and do a lot of manual testing and figure out where the AI is kind of going off the rails. And then that's how you come up with these assertions for the judge.
So we're writing these in our spec, and they're each dull, right? So they're
Mm-hmm.
excluded from regular spec runs.
Yes.
And we can run them, believe it's bin evals, right?
Yep.
So let's give that a run with no changes. And we'll see what it does. So this is actually talking to a real LLM. Right now, we're using the same LLM. We're using Anthropic.
Yes.
Right.
And I think we're using Sonnet for everything. And there is a PR up to change the judge to something like Opus, where we might go with the OpenAI model, because you do want to use a different model or a better model for your judge, because they have inherent bias.
Right.
It's like, yes, I agree with what I said. They're really good at doing that.
So this takes a while to run because it's doing real stuff. Do you have a sense of how long?
It shouldn't take much longer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that slow. Are we thinking of doing something with the evals with the local LLM, or really focusing on the agent part of the app?
I was thinking the agent part at first, but part of that thinking was then we can keep the judge using Anthropic,
Yes.
so that we can then judge whether the local LLM is performing well.
That's a good idea. Yep.
Okay, so that finished.
Ooh, we got an 80%.
Have you not seen 80%?
I've seen them all just 100% so far, so this is great. Something is not working completely perfectly. I like it.
Sweet.
Yeah, if you want to check out that output file, I think that is just, so we're also writing, it's not quite ready to be merged, but we're writing a dashboard for evals, so we can kind of track these over time, maybe tag the commit on those, so it's easier to see, okay, this set of instructions changed, and now this eval's failing.
So the specific idea one, it ran 5 times, it passed 4, is what you mean. That's exactly. So that equals an 80%. Right. Now the threshold is set to 80%, so that's still considered a pass.
Yes.
It's interesting. There's no is the actual test stuff logged anywhere?
I don't think it is right now. No.
Because that would be my question, is like, okay, what did it get wrong?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's mentioned in the PR that we have up, being able to expose that and dig into it.
Cool. Well, shall we hook ReadySetGo up to a local LLM and see what breaks?
Yes, I'm excited.
The reason why I put it that way is because the last time we did that, first of all, it was the app generation version of ReadySetGo. So it was, and the tool calls and the interaction were much simpler at the time. So my concern is, and I don't know that this is going to happen, but my concern is that we're going to hook it up to a local model, and something about what we've done with Anthropic to get it to behave well and to do something is gonna, with tool calls or halting or something, is going to not work the way that we expect. That's my fear.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the tool calls will map, if they map like perfectly or not.
Right. Okay, so we've shown Olama on the stream before, but I don't want to take for granted that people know what it is. But Olama, I think, is, I would say it's probably the standard for running models locally. And it's basically a container that runs the models and exposes them via an HTTP API. And I think in general, Olama mirrors the OpenAI API. Not 100%, but that's how it started, I think, is.
Oh, like settings wise?
Yeah, like the JSON format
Yeah.
and that kind of thing.
Cool. Yeah, no, Llama also exposes like a user interface if you just want to download a local model and play with it locally, turn your Wi-Fi
it
off.
does, and chat with
Yeah,
it, both in the console and that. And you can also run Olama and then have and connect things like Claude Code to it and that kind of thing. Claude Code doesn't need to just use Anthropic's Claude. It can be connected to any locally running LLM.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun to have that set up as like a fallback if there's an outage or something.
When you're on a plane and you really don't know how to code anymore, you've forgotten how to code and you really need to get something done.
That plane Wi-Fi doesn't cut it sometimes.
So I already had Olama installed, but we've pre-set up 2 models because they're typically many gigabytes of data. This model here is GPT OSS 20 billion parameter model. You can't see it. It's cut off on the right-hand side of my screen, but that was 13 gigabytes to download. So you can list, I've got 2 models set up now, GLM 4.7 Flash and GPT OSS 20 billion.
Who creates the GLM model?
Is it ZAI?
Oh, I think that's it. But I don't know where they're from.
Olama has a website which lists all the models. Yeah, GLM is Z.AI's flagship model, well, 5.2. And these pages are nice because they tell you about the models and how they perform and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, those metrics are really interesting.
The thing that you want to watch out for is like, this is a cloud model. So it's not actually running fully locally if you use it. So you want to pay attention to those tags for that to to keep in mind. So see, if we go to GLM 4.7 Flash, you can see that doesn't have the cloud tag. And it specifically says, I thought it was going to specifically say running locally, but.
Yeah, so I guess Olama wouldn't let you install the one that requires the cloud, or it would just require.
No, it lets you install it. You can totally install it. It's just not entirely running locally on your computer. Gotcha. It's running through Olama and then routing to the cloud.
That's right, because there's like a little cloud toggle, I think, on Olama. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know what happens off the top of my head. What happens if you disable that? Probably then wouldn't run.
Yeah.
So what model shall we try first?
Let's try GLM since you had downloaded that one. We'll see how it works out.
So we're using Ruby LLM on ReadySetGo. And one of the advantages of Ruby LLM is that it can connect to different servers, basically, through one common Ruby LLM API. So we're configuring Ruby LLM right now by just giving it the Anthropic API key to use. And then in a ReadySetGo YAML file, we're telling which models to use.
Yep.
And that's right here, the primary model. The secondary model, or sorry, primary model, the other models right now are for reviewers, so that reviewers can, our agents that are reviewing the work of the main agent, they can use a different model.
Yes. So we would want to change both of these to a local model, we're thinking. I'm trying to think of the best place to put that sort of
yeah, I think we want to change
switch.
this. Reviewers, we're not actually running reviewers right now. That's for the app generation, so it probably doesn't even matter.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if those were being used for anything to do with like the output and the approve or deny.
I don't think so, no.
Steps. Cool.
And then actually I'm going to go over to the Ruby LLM configuration.
I was doing the same thing.
And you can see it provide you, so you need to give it the Olama base. I believe I don't have a key set up for Olama because I'm just running it locally. But we'll find out whether I do or not.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I think I have, yeah, okay. So I'm going to restart ReadySetGo now. I think that's all we need to do. No, Llama PS says no models are running. Yeah, okay, that's because...
What is the start command? Run a model.
Yeah, but that's an interactive chat with a model. That's not what I want.
No.
It's actually Olama help. And oops. So I believe it's Olama run.
Olama serve, perhaps.
Oh, okay. So that's...
I think you just type Olama serve and it uses your default model.
What's the default model? I'm already running the server, so...
Oh, okay.
You know what? I think it's going to start, as long as we provide it the model, I think it's going to start automatically. I could be wrong. Let's try it and see.
Yeah. As long as you have like Olama running on your computer, I think you're good. So.
Okay, if we go back over to here, let's start a new sprint. What do we want our sprint to be about?
I have an idea that
Okay.
I keep messing with on my local, but sensory cinema. So it's like how, you know, you are like watch a movie and there's a scene where you like jump in your seat a little bit. S sensory.
Oh yeah.
This would be an idea where it's like, oh, I can look up a movie and know if it has a scene that will make me jump because I'm sensitive to those sorts of things.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so this issue is that Ruby LLM needs to know about what models it can talk to. There's like a
registry
it doesn't
somewhere.
know about this one. So it's telling us to refresh the registry. and persist it with Ruby LLM models saved to JSON. Rails model registries can call model.refresh instead. So let's try that. We delete a bunch of the models that we don't use when we're doing this. We're running only with the models that we use. So let's see if that fixes it.
Is that somewhere in the code base so we can see now it would be added somewhere? Error loading Redis.
This is what's happening on staging.
What is this?
It's an exception about the Redis dependencies in our gem file. Missing a gem it depends on. Can't activate Redis 4.6. Already activated Redis 6. This is a good time to mention I am monitoring the chat. So if we get stuck and you're watching live and you have an idea of what to try, or if you just have questions or ideas in general, drop it in the chat and we'll do our best to answer.
You didn't have this error though when we were pointing to Anthropic, did you?
I haven't started a new sprint since that, but this is happening on staging right now. Okay. This is in main. I'm just looking at the commit history. Redis was just bumped to 6.0.
Oh, I wonder if that was a dependabot merge.
Yeah. I'm just going to revert that commit.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will.
I think we might have lost Chad, but I'm sure he'll hop back in here in a second.
Well, I refreshed my browser window.
There you go.
I refreshed the streaming window instead.
It happens to all of us. Yep.
Let me put my screen back here. Okay, so it worked.
Sweet.
To revert that Redis commit. Okay, so I am really scared of, worried about jump scares.
Getting caught off guard. Yeah.
Sort of thing in movies. I'd like an app that I can use to look up whether a movie contains things I am sensitive to. Does that capture your idea?
Great.
Well enough?
Yeah. Funny enough, there are a couple things that exist already too that are.
So I'm just going to go over to the log, and I'm not seeing any errors, which is a good sign.
I know. I wish we could like somehow see just more of what's happening in the background.
Olama has logs, so
there we go. Maybe that's it.
I gotta remember.
Just the fact that it's taking this long, I feel like it might be using the local.
Right. There we go. I like how I put warm start.
I think we might need to add that to the.
So the reason why
evals.
we're laughing at that is because our instructions instruct to start with a warm start. So like as in going like right into it. Uh and usually ReadySetGo doesn't like put that there. So
At least it's not a lukewarm start.
right. Okay, warm start. This is a really meaningful problem to solve, and it's clear there's an emotional need at stake here. Let me hear the full picture. Tell me everything. What this app would actually do, why it matters to you, what you already know or aren't sure about, and any background you have in this space. So I can tell right away this is not meeting our quality that we're looking for because we specifically include in the instructions only ask one question at a time.
Yeah, agree. It's a lot less thorough than I'm used to.
Yeah. But we didn't get an error. And it did.
Did we have any tool calls? I
It
don't
did
think we
not.
did.
I don't know that it did. Um, let's see. Let's interact with it a little bit. It's going to be slow, but let's interact with it a little bit, and we can see. I want to look up a movie.
Using the Rotten Tomatoes API.
Actually, I want to specify what I am sensitive about.
There we
Then
go.
I want to look up a movie and I want it to automatically know whether it includes something I'm sensitive to. I have no background except love of movies and fear of jump scares.
Nice.
So I think the last time it took about 15 seconds to respond.
Mm-hmm. I think once we get through like the first set of questions, it would try to do a tool call for creating the kickoff artifact.
Okay, yeah. So this is a lot.
Yeah.
We've really worked to fine tune things to not do a lot, not do an overwhelming amount of stuff at one time, and it's falling over there. But you want an app where you set your personal sensitivities. You look up any movie, the app tells you if it hits your list automatically. That automatically knows part is where it gets interesting. How would the app figure that out?
It is community driven. The people go onto the website and they can timestamp the jumpy part.
One of the things that I'm realizing this is going to immediately fall down on, it didn't cause an error, but we are using the Anthropic web fetching and search tools built into Anthropic. And so running here, our agents have no ability to search the web and do their own independent research. So at this point, ReadySetGo running against Anthropic might actually go look out and see whether there's any apps that already do this or databases that already do this pretty proactively. But we're not going to get that here because we don't have those tools available to us.
You know, something that's funny and awesome at the same time is that the text streaming is working using a local model here, but it doesn't seem to be working 100% on staging. So that's cool.
On stage, it's because that Redis error is deployed to staging.
Oh yeah, that could be why. But it's cool to see.
How do people tell the app what's in a movie? Are they uploading screenshots, writing descriptions, tagging scenes?
Timestamp tags.
Can you help? Can we defer decisions about blank slate and things like that until later?
I wonder if we could just tell it to make an assumption right now.
Mm-hmm. Why this? Why now? Is it a very personal comfort need, or do you see a bigger problem? What do you think?
It's a personal need that I've been thinking about for a while, and I feel like the other folks would benefit from.
After this, I'm going to ask it to move on.
Yeah.
And see if we can get a tool call.
What does that look like thinking about it for a while? Reddit, Google's searches, or other things I've used in the past. If you want to keep going. I feel like we're close. You could do like gore or dark. Mm-hmm. It did say one more. Is that it? Let's see.
No, it's going to ask us 5 more questions now.
Yeah. Finally. Yeah. I have seen it ask a question like this before. It's definitely in our instructions to like ask about notes or brain dumps that you might want to give it for context.
Okay, it's going to use a tool.
Yes.
Well, we're hoping it's going to use a tool. This is where we find out GLM 4.7 Flash doesn't support tool calling.
Yeah. I feel like the markdown rendering is weird in this.
So the markdown rendering doesn't kick in until after the stream is done. After it's done streaming in, then it formats. It's just running against Claude. You don't see that happen because it's much faster. Okay.
Yeah.
It added assumptions. I will say my fans just kicked in.
Nice.
And
okay.
Yeah. So it added assumptions. So we've got assumptions now.
Okay, great.
And it is asking me to approve or revise the plan that it posted here.
Did it make anything else? Is there another artifact or?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So
maybe this would be it, the trigger. Yeah.
So let me approve it. So what should happen now is it should output the artifact, and it should advance the step. That should be tool calls.
How much RAM does your machine have? Because usually with these local models, you know, the more, the better. Like at least 32 gigabytes, I would guess.
Yeah, 48.
48, nice.
And it's an M4 Pro.
Okay.
Okay, so it's listing the artifact to see whether it already has one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not hitting what I was afraid we were going to hit, which was tool calls were going to be all broken and busted.
Yeah. I guess that's an Olama thing, not necessarily a model thing, but yeah, I wonder when you would run into that issue. Okay. Created our kickoff.
And then it's changing the step. The UI didn't.
Maybe it'll do that after the. You're right.
False. That's because is the step name not actually customer focus? I think it is.
Yes, same. So maybe that's an actual failure that we're seeing.
It's customer focus.
Mm-hmm.
But the tool call returned false. Let's take a look at the tool. So that's just returning the update here. So that is literally just returning. So that failed for some reason.
Would there be anything in the console about that or no?
Probably not in the console, but in the Rails log.
And I guess at some point we could just ask it to change the step.
Might be a little hard to track it
I
down.
know. There's a lot going on.
But what we can do is so the project is ID 15.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go into Rails console, actually I'm gonna do it in Z. Yeah, okay, so that's the right project.
Mm-hmm.
That's so annoying.
I am
App
reading
is
that.
marked for strict loading. The chat association named chats cannot be lazily loaded.
I am reading that the GLM model can like struggle with tool call sometimes in streaming. Sometimes it will just stop.
Well, see, but it worked. It's literally the Rails thing.
Yeah.
So what we had passed in was customer focus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So that worked.
Hmm. So the question is, why did it fail when the model tried?
Change sprint step, new step name, Customer focus. I don't see it.
You don't ever see the model actually trying to make the update?
No, I think it tried. I don't see why it failed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you want to ask it to move back to kickoff and see if that works?
Yeah.
Maybe it was I have like this weird, I think it maybe failed because it was trying to do multiple things at once, and for some reason maybe a local model struggles. But that would be hard to know for sure. So we should just see the same tool call,
You can see
but
in the UI it did update to.
yeah. It could be interesting too to just, if this also fails, to switch to the other model to see if it's the same result.
Boy, it's really thinking.
Mm-hmm.
My fans just turned on again.
Like, how do we do this? Everyone figure it out.
So while this runs, let's talk about why local models are interesting to us. One motivation might be cost. Like in theory. It says, absolutely, we haven't left kickoff yet.
That's not great. Why are local models interesting? I think it's just interesting to play with different models and like for local development, not burning through tokens for by hitting the Anthropic API. We were thinking about maybe hooking up staging to a local model that could be hosted somewhere to save cost. What do we have?
In theory, you could even do production if performance was good enough. And you're essentially turning what would be sort of open-ended token cost going to a third party into it worked.
Sweet. You want to try the same thing?
And it returned true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just maybe do the same thing and
move on to the next step. Be sure to call the tool.
Got a few typos in there.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I'm lazy when I talk to an LLM because I'm just like, it's going to figure out my typos.
And it really does.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it worked that time.
Weird. All right.
But the to result was false, so that means the save was not successful. Like something was wrong with that. So converting sort of open-ended token costs that are potentially really high into fixed hosting costs, like well, we can handle our current load with this server. It performs well enough. It costs X hundred a month in order to do it. That's less than the thousands we might be paying for these tokens going to Anthropic. So that could make sense.
Yeah.
The other one tends to be, and this is when it comes to client work most often, is security. Like you don't, if something is sensitive, you don't necessarily want to be sending sensitive data to a bunch of third parties. So being able to host LLM on your own infrastructure or infrastructure you control can help lock that down.
Yeah. And like if I were developing evals and trying to tweak and just mess with those a bunch, it'd be nice to maybe use a local model to save on cost too. Not feel bad about running them over and over.
Right. Okay, so what are we seeing here? We're seeing, despite the thing with the tool call not working the way that we expected. I'm sort of thinking that might not have been an LLM problem. So that's pretty good. Tool calls are working.
Yeah. I mean, we have the other model we could try just to see if the output's any different.
Yeah, that sounds great. So to switch the model,
That would give us more confidence that tool calls will work with other models.
we go over here. Oh, actually, we go to our config file.
I saw somewhere in our app's code where a user could select the model they want to use for a sprint. Is that not exposed in the UI right now?
That's not exposed in the UI.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'll restart the server.
That could be a cool thing to expose in the UI if it's like, hey, you're in your dev environment. Let's share this so you can just switch to the local model.
I'm going to start a new sprint.
Cool. Do you have any?
Well, I think we should use the same idea.
Okay. Didn't want to hold you back if you had something.
I think using the same idea, we'll be able to more directly compare. Yeah. In fact, if we go here, we continue the sprint and we go back, we can actually type exactly.
Copy pasta, the same thing.
So that first response took about 15 seconds that first time. So we'll be able to somewhat compare speed. This one is probably, well, it occurs to me, I bet Olama has to load that model into memory the first time it's called.
Yeah, I think this model was smaller than the other one, gigabyte wise, though I don't know how much of a difference that will make.
Okay. Whoa.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know what that was. Scroll back up. So it changed the sprint step, which actually that's the same behavior Anthropic, our main model does. I noticed that the previous one didn't do it because it doesn't know that you're already on the kickoff step. It starts the kickoff step, and so it calls it manually, but the other one didn't do that.
Okay. So is that better or is that just a difference behavior?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's just like making sure it's on kickoff basically. Yeah. What was this other one? It looks like that might have had an error.
It tried to call an unavailable tool upload docs channel commentary. Available tools. The good thing is ReadySetGo, we've been working on resiliency of errors, so that didn't cause any big issues. Here again, though, it asked 5 questions. At least it numbered them.
Yeah, but that's a little intense. Do any of these questions depend on one another too?
No.
Okay, that's good at least.
we've already diverged from what happened in the previous sprint. So comparing the previous model didn't react to our idea. Sorry, this model didn't react to our idea at all. It didn't give any judgment. It just went right into questions.
Yeah. We didn't get our
Whereas the
warm
other
start.
one did this warm start. Uh,
Oh,
okay, it's already adding assumptions.
yeah, it's really into tool calling. Wow. How many assumptions did it add?
Users will want to avoid jump scares. Jump scares can be identified from existing metadata or reviews. A broader audience exists beyond personal use.
Okay.
Ouch. Ouch, ReadySetGo.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting the picture that you want a quick check-in. Name a film, see whether it's a jump scare, and then you'd like it useful for more than just yourself. Let's dig a little deeper.
I spilled my dinner when I got jumped. When I had a jump scare. Oh my gosh. It's so hard to evaluate these things because it's just
Right.
so different. Like similar but different. And it's tricky building a product that leans on a model, because it can really change the voice of your product. That's something that Airbnb lists in a great article they posted on evals. Oh wait, what just happened?
4 more assumptions.
Oh my god.
Oh, it didn't add them over here. Users will Google or use Reddit for movie safety info. Yeah, these assumptions aren't very good.
Yeah, this model seems really amped to tool call and just get stuff out. It's not.
Ooh, I like how it did a block quote.
Oh yeah. We could try running evals too. I forgot about that on these models. I'm curious. How many people? That mean lots of people. Of course. Your goal here is to pin down the real pain.
I can't pull live stats right now, but here's.
Oh, you know what's interesting is we should see if we can enable web search for local models, which you can't easily do in the Ollama UI for these.
Well, the way that I would do that is I would make a new tool that uses like Ruby to fetch the results.
Oh, can we not do that outside of making a tool through Ollama?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. Because that would be definitely handy for we need that for like finding competitors and everything for ReadySetGo.
Well, we use the Anthropic server-side web search.
Yes.
Scraping. But yeah, we would for local, we definitely would.
Let me see if there's.
Okay, so yeah, let's run the evals. So this is against unknown model. Oh, I need to in test mode. So now it should know about that model.
Cool.
This was slow when we were running against a fast model, so
I know.
hold
It's
on to
like
your butt.
take a few minutes. Is there anything hitting a API outside of Olama for this? Did we change to the judge, or is that still using?
Where was the judge?
That is a good question because I think we just
Specific
moved
idea.
where it was. But if you search for sonnet and haiku,
Tribunal registered judge. Yeah, so it's running against Sonnet.
okay, that's
Specific
fine.
idea could not run. Missing configuration for Anthropic API key.
Hmm.
Is that because of just, yeah, Tribunal runs on top of Ruby LLM, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there shouldn't be any harm in actually.
Oh yeah, just because we had that key commented out, Janet tried to use the model for the judge.
Right.
I was Googling just to see if we could easily turn on web search, but I'm not sure.
So so there are providers that provide web search specifically for LLMs.
Mm-hmm.
But similarly, like you have to have a tool call that calls that provider.
That makes sense. So if you're using
And
Olama,
mm-hmm.
like in their UI, they basically have a tool they've already created for these models to use for web search.
Yeah. And Anthropic happens to now provide what they call server-side tools. You enable them when you make your request and you say, I want to use these server-side tools provided by you, Anthropic.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is a web fetch API, another one's a searching API. Okay, so names a specific idea, expected at least 80% of 5 runs to pass, and 0% did.
All right. Well, oh, it gave us the failing outputs in this case.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I want to look at what the
I was just thinking that what the idea is. I think it might be like a to-do app or something, but
and then what we're oh, it was
it's the kickoff spec.
staying vague looks like accepting the category at face value, asking only broad questions that would suit any project, or restating the founder's idea without sharpening it. So I think
Yeah, this output's weird.
Right. So I think what it's saying is, this output here, which is from our local agent,
Mm-hmm.
is judged to be not specific. And I would say that that's correct. We must now ask the founder to elaborate. You're about to tell me the full picture. Let's dive in. No agenda, just the story. What's the idea? From that, I'll ask a few follow ups to get the motivation. So there's nothing specific here. So I think that that's
Yeah.
why it was judged to be a failure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's go to the other model.
Yeah.
Now we're all hooked up. We can switch models with wild abandon.
Heck yeah. So before we actually were to use this, we would need to figure out the web search piece and any other tools that we're using.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't know, like, the web search there, like, because it doesn't have a tool, it doesn't try to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So this model is larger. It's 19 gigabytes in versus, and I think it's 30 billion parameters versus 20 billion parameters.
Yeah. So maybe it'll pass.
Maybe.
Yeah. Web search and web fetch. Two very similar but different things.
Right. So search, you give it like a search, and it actually searches the web
Mm-hmm.
and returns results. But then you need web fetch to be able to follow those results and read them fully, or just to be able to fetch, like, if the user like put in a URL and said, like, here's a similar competitor,
Yeah.
wherever, it would then
Just like
be able to go and read that.
a GET request enabler.
So fetch is easy to do from Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually not where most people will go and need to, like, use a separate service. It's the search that there's a whole bunch of search services out there meant to be used by LLMs.
Oh, interesting. So we'd have to not just write something ourselves, but maybe.
There's some open source projects, but you're basically loading in a search index, because it needs to actually have an index of the web in order
Yeah.
to search it. So yeah.
Because I figured it was just like hitting Google search and then parsing the results from that response or something. So this one also failed.
Yeah. And its result was, let's run this properly. What's the idea? If you got anything written down already, notes, research. So it's just, again, just a generic
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Interesting. So is that I wonder if that's more of an issue with the model or indicating that we could improve our instructions.
Right. That's a good so it says, open, our instructions are open simply. What's the idea? Then follow their energy and draw out the idea, what they're building, in a sentence or two. Let's look at this specific idea. Oh, wait, no, it's the kickoff.
Yep.
So we're asking, I want to build a better to-do app. People are always forgetting tasks, and nothing out there is simple enough. Anthropic is taking that and skipping ahead,
Mm-hmm.
because we've already provided the idea, and going into the narrowing of it. these other ones are like, here's my guess, are like the instructions say, open simply, what is the idea? And so
Mm-hmm.
even though our eval step is is doing that, it's not jumping ahead.
Do our instructions include a example of like what would be a good response? I guess that's sort of scattered around in there.
Yeah.
Because that's something else I keep reading about evals, and just you really want to give them explicit, like, hey, this is an example that is what we like. Like, this is what we're going for. And if you don't provide stuff like that, they will just make up stuff. They're really good at that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think part of the issue here, my guess is a little bit with the way this is set up, because the agent never gets a chance to start the step with its what's the idea, then our responses to that are sort of being ignored, and it's starting the kickoff step.
Yeah. So it just has a lot less context versus what we would have if we just did it ourselves.
But with Anthropic's model, it's sort of demonstrating that it is smarter, because our spec is sort of jumping ahead and providing the idea before it's asking. And so it's adjusting and responding to what the user puts there in the spec. So
what I'm gathering from this is there might be a better way to run this eval.
Potentially.
To more like similarly mirror what we're doing. But at the same time, I say that, and you don't want them to grow too large. Like a single eval needs to be pretty specific what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's hard to know. If you include a bunch of instructions in one eval, it's like, well, what change on what set of instructions, triggered this difference?
Yeah. So I think in general, we also saw that it was really both models really ignored our instructions that we have to only provide one question at a time. That seems like something that we could add a judge for.
Is there some sort of eval we would maybe want to double check the changing of the sprint steps? Like, I was thinking, how would we catch what we saw earlier if that does happen outside of local models?
That one's interesting, because that was the tool, that was the update call in Rails, just returning false, like the validations failed or something like that.
Yeah.
So you could make a spec for that.
But like, would that spec, we probably have a spec just like, hey, it can change this step and that's fine. But it's like, can it change the step through? Can the LLM change the step? Is that always successful? 10 times out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So here's the specs for that, just in general. In fact, it literally does exactly what we did in
Oh yeah,
the
there you go.
sprint. Um, so that's exercising that the tool actually works when called correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I really have no idea why validations didn't pass. That's my guess about what. Because so there's really two things that might have caused that to return false that I see.
Mm-hmm.
If broadcasting messed up, that would be, that's after commit, so it might be rolled back. I forget. But obviously the name wasn't blank.
Interesting. Yeah, or are there any other things that we're thinking of that could be good for adding to our evals? Like you mentioned, the one question at a time, making sure that that happens. Is there anything else that we saw between our instructions and this output that seemed...
When it's judging of when it is creating assumptions. So this model here was creating assumptions, tons of them, for things that are not really relevant.
Yeah, like we would want the model to wait until you're further in.
Right, like an assumption of a real user had a past negative experience that motivates the need. That's not really an assumption.
Yeah, that's just a statement.
So that would be something, because the assumptions are like entirely, the agent is deciding what is an assumption, and then it's deciding how to word them when it creates them. So that would be probably a good area for a judge.
It's like, hey, are these actually assumptions?
Right, and that might
Yeah.
be one area where we the way we approach it is what you had said, which is like we come up with a bunch of examples of good assumptions, like a text, like a bunch of text for an idea with details that include assumptions, and then we're saying this piece of text here should generate these two assumptions.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. We could also show bad assumptions.
Right, right. Okay, let's talk about hosting. So say we wanted to like, we wanted to start hosting this. There's a bunch of different options for how to do that. The first
Yeah.
one you might go to is like, well, can I host it wherever I'm already hosting my Rails app? So
Yep.
that's where we went to. We are hosting on Railway. And so there's an article on dev.to, I don't know, and some forum posts
Step two.
on Railway. But if you follow this up, you'll find out Railway already has a one-click deploy now for Olama. So getting up and running is actually very straightforward and quick. Then the question then becomes, Railway VPSs are just CPU VPSs with RAM. So you're not getting any like GPU acceleration or special chips for AI. So all the inference is happening on the CPU. So this blog post was a good one because it actually did a performance analysis of DeepSeek, GPT, OSS, Llama, and Qwen 3 running on that Railway hardware.
And I guess an alternative would be like you buy a Mac Mini and point your app to talk to the Mac Mini on your desk that's
right.
GPT OSS.
Right,
Which,
or put it in a data center.
Yeah.
But then there are also hosts out there that specialize in running LLMs. So if this level of performance is not acceptable for you in production, then there's options. Like there's people who will basically have a bunch of farms of Linux boxes with big GPUs attached to them, and they're set up to run that stuff, and you pay them, monthly fees for hosting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It would be nice to just have it all on Railway if we want to get one of these pushed up there for staging or something.
Yeah, I would have concerns about because we saw how slow it was running these models locally on my computer, and I have a Mac M4, and these models I'm almost certain are tuned to run better on that. So I would be a little concerned about the performance of them, but it would be basically, a few minutes to spin up a Railway instance, connect it to staging, put a branch, and then we'd actually be able to use it for real and see what it's like.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what the tokens per second was on your machine. That would be interesting though to see.
Right.
Compare.
Yeah.
So I think we were saying those frontier models are like 100 tokens a second, maybe more, close to that.
Right. I don't know if... Yeah, it doesn't. So Ruby LLM records how many input tokens went, how many and output tokens, but it doesn't record tokens per second.
Got it.
We do have LangFuse attached, so that in theory could be reporting that kind of stuff there.
I just Googled this, and at least the Google AI overview says your machine would have like 30 to 50 tokens per second.
Okay.
So, which is faster, which is what I was assuming it would be then versus like Railway. So, yeah, that would be kind of painfully slow, I think, if we had it on Railway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what is this useful for? Stuff that runs in the background, maybe like tests, evals that use the model. Maybe it could be useful. Sure. For local development, though, I'm definitely going to try and get that working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What else did you want to talk about? Did you want to look into?
I think we can start to wrap up.
Okay.
You said we wouldn't fill the time, but
yeah,
time's up, baby.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I was thinking about digging into the web search stuff, but
sweet. Well, Jimmy, thank you for joining me as always. I don't know that when we launch ReadySetGo, it will be using its own hosted LLMs, but we'll see.
Yeah, fun to play with, and always a good time.
And as always, thank you for watching. We will be back next week. I think next week we'll be doing some additional feature development of the UI and the interactions that are happening in ReadySetGo. And so we'll see you then.
Great.
Oh, and as always, if you are looking to build something or improve an existing product, Thoughtbot is here. Check us out at thoughtbot.com. Get in touch by clicking that Hire Us button right at the top of the site. That's it for us for today. We will see you next time.